Hello everyone, how are you all? This is your GKGS mentor Ashish Kumar Singh in front of you, and I am today again with a very important session, and this session is associated with the monetary policy report that came out in December 2023. इस सेशन में हम लोग देखेंगे what was in report and what was the recommendations of the monetary policy committee. So without wasting any time, let's quickly get started and let's get to see everything that was there in this report. But before that, let us see some basic things. The very first thing that I would like all of you to tell is what is monetary policy. Student, monetary policy एक ऐसा tool है with the help of which we generally manage two things. दो चीजों को manage करते हैं with the help of monetary policy. पहला क्या है? तो पहला है money supply, right? Money supply को manage करते हैं and following which we also manages the interest rates. तो interest rates को और मनी सप्लाई को मैनेज करने के लिए वी यूज द टूल्स ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी. ठीक है, ये चीज याद रखना. वी हैव सीन दिस इन अवर प्रीवियस सेशन. एक सेशन हम लोगों ने लिया था वेयर इन आई हैव टोल्ड यू एंड टॉट यू व्हाट इज मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी एंड हाउ वी मैनेज द मनी सप्लाई एंड इंटरेस्ट रेट विद द हेल्प ऑफ monetary policy. What were the qualitative and quantitative tools that the government of India and RBI uses to balance the money supply and interest rate? तो उसके बारे में अगर डीप में जानना है तो go and watch that video that is associated with all about monetary policy. All about monetary policy तुमको मिल जाएगा लाइव सेक्शन में जाके. लाइव सेक्शन के प्लेलिस्ट में जाना, वहां पे you will find that video and you'll get to know wow the monetary policy committee manages the money supply and interest rate with the help of various tools, right? तो इसका काम है मनी सप्लाई और इंटरेस्ट रेट्स को मैनेज करना एंड दैट टू विद द हेल्प ऑफ वेरियस टूल्स. ओके, एंड आई वुड पुट द लिंक ऑफ दैट particular video in the comment sections or in the descriptions. Just go and watch that video also. Okay, देखो यही सारे वो tools हैं. These are all the tools with the help of which RBI manages the money supply and inflation rate. ओके, तो क्या क्या टूल्स हैं? बैंक रेट, रेपो रेट, ट्रिपल आर, रिवर्स रेपो रेट, ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन, सीआरआर, एसआरआर, एमएसएफ, एसडीआर, इन सारे चीजों को हम लोगों ने डिस्कस करा है. along with that we have also discussed about moral suasion, selective credit control and marginal requirement. So whether it is quantitative or whether it is qualitative, we have discussed all the things and I would request all of you to go and watch that video in order to get an insight about all these things. वहां पे हम लोगों ने even NDTL तक डिस्कस करा है, that is net demand and time liabilities, उसको भी हम लोगों ने डिस्कस करा है. इस सेशन में भी बने रहना, stay in that this session also. At least you'll get an insight that what is repo rate, reverse repo rate, SDF and MSF. Okay, चलो फॉरवर्ड मूव करते हैं और समझते हैं that what was the history of monetary policy committee. RBI Act 1934 was amended. Okay, RBI Act 1934 was amended by the Finance Act of 2016 to constitute a committee named as Monetary Policy Committee. Monetary Policy Committee is responsible for fixing the benchmark interest rate or the repo rate. Now, what is this repo rate? Repo rate is the rate at which RBI provide loans to the बैंक. अगर SBI नाम का एक बैंक है जिसको RBI नाम के एक बैंक से लोन चाहिए, so what will SBI do? SBI will approach RBI to get the loan, okay, and RBI will give the loan at an interest rate also known as repo rate. Okay, तो ये repo rate है which is one of the quantitative instrument to manage the money supply. फॉर एग्जाम्पल समझो कि अगर रेपो रेट बढ़ेगा तो क्या होगा, या फिर अगर रेपो रेट घटेगा तो क्या होगा. what will happen if the repo rate will increase or what will happen if the repo rate will decrease? We will see that fact just after 2 to 3 minutes in this very session, so stay tuned, do not go in order to get the clarity. Okay, so repo rate is something wherein the bank will approach RBI to take the loan. repo rate का ही एक भाई है, there is a brother of repo rate also known as MSF. Okay, this thing is known as MSF. Now what is this MSF? MSF का मतलब भी वही हुआ that the bank will approach RBI to take the loan, but in repo rate the bank has to provide collaterals. Okay, यहाँ पे they have to provide collateral, but when it comes to NSF they do not need to provide collateral देने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Now what is the benefit of RBI giving the loans in the form of MSF? The benefit is that the MSF percentage of interest is higher as compared to the repo rate. MSF का जो percentage है वो ज्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू द रेपो रेट। तो आरबीआई गेट्स मोर मनी व्हेन इट गिव्स लोन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एमएसएफ। क्लियर है? ओके, नाउ सी what I was talking about, कि embassy's committee is responsible for fixing the repo rate, and along with that, it is also responsible for fixing the reverse repo rate. Now, if RBI want that, RBI needs to suck money from the market. Since suppose there is too much of inflation in market में बहुत सारा पैसा है, बहुत ज्यादा पैसा होता है, तो वैल्यू घट जाती है, राइट? किसी भी चीज में इफ यू सी, इफ यू आर हैविंग जस्ट वन वॉच और वन आईफोन, that value will remain intact because it is only one in number. But if you will buy multiple iPhones or multiple watches, obviously you will see that the value has reduced, right? So in similar manner, if too much money is in market, inflation is happening, and if inflation is happening, the value of rupee gets reduced after some time or after a particular time. Okay, उसके बारे में भी हम लोगों ने उस वीडियो में डिस्कस करा है in the monetary policy video, but here I'm just giving a glimpse of that. Okay, so वैसे केस में क्या होता है, RBI want to suck liquidity from market, so RBI would want that SBI should give money to RBI, and that is done on the basis of reverse repo rate. Okay, RRR. तो अगर RBI को SBI से पैसा चाहिए तो RRR के फॉर्म में ले लेगा, रिवर्स रेपो रेट, और अगर SBI को RBI से चाहिए तो रेपो रेट के फॉर्म में ले लेगा। क्लियर? नाउ there is a brother of repo rate also known as SDF, standing deposit facility. Now what is this SDF? SDF is the brother of repo rate. What is the difference? RRR में you have to give collateral similar like repo rate, okay, and in SDF you do need not to give any collateral similar like MSF. Okay, MSF के तरह SDF में RBI will not submit collateral to any bank to get the money, but when it comes to RRR, RBI has to submit some collateral to get the money, and that is why Government of India is planning to scrap RRR in the near future and bring SDF as the common interest rate at which RBI will get the money. RRR का scrap होने का भी यही एक reason है. So I think it is clear that what is repo rate, what is reverse repo rate, what is SDF, what is MSF. और clarity चाहिए, if you want more things to be discussed, go and watch that video, the description of which will be, the link of which will be shared in the description. Now let us see. Let us come back to the MPC. The MPC committee has 6 members, 3 officials from RBI and 3 external members nominated by the government of India. Now, the RBI governor is the chairperson. We all know that the current responsibility of the committee is to maintain an annual inflation of 4% and with a permissible limit of plus minus 2%. So, the responsibility of monetary policy committee as we also is to control the money supply and to balance the inflation. तो inflation का जो limit है which the monetary policy committee has to maintain is 4% plus minus 2%. Okay, मतलब कहीं ना कहीं 2% से 6% के बीच में हमें inflation maintain करना है, manage करना है. That is the target of MPC. Okay, so in order to manage inflation and in order to manage deflation and control money supply, RBI बहुत सारे stances को follow करता है. Okay, so firstly we will be seeing each and every stances or classifications of monetary policy. Monetary policy can be classified as expansionary or contractionary. Expansionary means expand करना, and when monetary policy will expand or when the economy will expand, when there is less interest rate. ये less interest rate क्या है अभी देखते हैं. And when it will contract, shrink when there is high interest rate. Let us see how. See, there's a stance known as accommodative monetary policy. The target of accommodative monetary policy is to expand the overall money supply to boost the market economy when the economy is slowing down. Okay, so COVID-19 के टाइम से क्या हो रहा है? During the times of COVID-19, what is RBI following is the policy of accommodation. Policy of accommodation को follow कर रही है. Now, what is this policy of accommodation? See, now if we decrease the repo rate, अगर हम रेपो रेट को डिक्रीज कर देते हैं, राइट, सपोज कि SBI was getting loan at 6.5%. now RBI said that okay, under the policy of accommodation I will give you loan just at 6%. so what will happen, कि RBI will give loan to SBI at 6%, and RBI will also say to SBI that I am also ready, we are also ready to buy securities from you. Securities basically एक sheet of paper होते हैं which are government securities. Government वो securities बेचती है पैसा लेने के लिए. तो RBI is to the banks. So RBI said that just provide us with the security also, we will buy that also. So ये जो 6% का interest rate लिया instead of 6.5%, तो 0.5% का डिफरेंस एंड अलॉन्ग विद दैट द बाइंग ऑफ सिक्योरिटी पोर्ड मनी इन द मार्केट। हाउ? क्योंकि वो मनी बैंक के पास गया। अब वो बैंक क्या करा? They started providing cheap loans, and since loan become cheaper, more borrowing, more investment, more production, more employment, more money in hand, more demand, more supply, and more GDP. So, in order to boost the overall production, accommodative monetary policy is maintained. Now, the question is कि sir, अगर हम accommodative monetary policy को लेके आएंगे, if we will bring accommodative monetary policy, what will happen to the inflation? Inflation will also increase. Yes, inflation will increase, but RBI follows accommodative monetary policy only when inflation is controlled or balanced. Just remember कि RBI accommodative monetary policy तभी follow करती है जब inflation remain balanced. Okay, just take a note of this very important fact. Okay, so when it is accommodative or expansionist. Okay, अब expansionist का मतलब समझ में आया? Is it clear what is expansionist? Expansionist mean expand कर रहा है. How the economy is expanding? See how by decreasing the repo rate. Repo rate को घटा दिया, economy को बढ़ा दिया. Repo rate को बढ़ा दिया. So now bank will do what? Bank will give not cheaper loans to the people, and since cheaper loans will not be given, the economy will not boost. Okay, if I am giving you loan at 1% you will buy, but if I am giving you loan at 10% you will not buy. That is what I mean expansionist and contractory ka matlab. That is what it means when I say expansionist and contractory. Okay, so accommodative monetary policy is being followed in India since 2019 after the advent of COVID-19 to promote the economy. Okay, और उससे inflation नहीं होगा. Why? Because inflation is controlled, and then only the RBI follows this accommodative monetary policy. Okay. Now the second instance is hawkish monetary policy. In order to keep inflation in check, the hawkish monetary policy is seen into picture. Now what is this hawkish monetary policy? It means higher interest rate. Now the second scenario, अगर high interest rate है, so repo rate is increased from 6 to 6.5%. Now the repo rate is suppose 8%, and instead of buying the securities from the bank, RBI is doing what? RBI is giving back the securities to the bank. अब एक sheet of paper is government security, suppose. Now that sheet of paper is given to the bank, then bank will give the money. So automatically RBI has taken money from the bank, and along with that RBI has also increased the interest rate, and because of which the bank is less interested in buying loans from RBI. And since the bank is less interested in buying loans from RBI, automatically what happens ki less money comes into the market. Okay, higher interest rate, less money, borrowing decreases, less investment, less production, less money in hand, less demand, less supply, and inflation is controlled. So hawkish monetary policy is followed in order to control the inflation. Just remember that. और accommodative को follow होता है to promote the economic growth. और accommodative से inflation इसलिए promote नहीं होता है because accommodative is followed only when there is low or no inflation. Okay, cool. यहाँ तक clear है? अब आते हैं आगे. Dovish monetary policy. Now, dovish monetary policy also involves the coming of lower interest rate. That means that dovish monetary policy is somewhere similar to accommodative monetary policy. Low interest rate, loan at cheaper rates, more borrowing, more investment, more production, more employment, more money in hand, demand increase, money increase, price of goods and services increase, and economy remains balanced. So when there is a case of deflation, जब deflation का case होगा, then RBI will follow what? Dovish monetary policy. But when there is a case of overall growth, okay, then accommodative monetary policy will be followed. But if there is too much inflation, hawkish monetary policy will be followed. So just remember key term or a mnemonic high. Okay, high से याद रखना. Just remember high, hawkish monetary policy when there is too much inflation. Okay, so dovish कब होगा? When there is less inflation. Okay, dovish कब होगा? When there is less inflation. And along with dovish, you can remember AD. Okay, so AD and high. AD high, ये तीन चार तरह का इंस्टेंस है जो RBI keeps while seeing the committee or while managing the committee or while submitting the report. अब एक और चीज है न्यूट्रल मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी. Neutral, RBI neither increases the repo rate nor decreases the repo rate. Why? Because according to RBI, economy is good to go and there is no need that needs to be done. Okay, so ये चार तरह के instance हैं. Now let us come to the report of this particular month, that is December. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है? RBI has kept the benchmark interest rate at 6.5%, that is repo rate at 6.5%. Okay, repo rate 6.5% है. UPI transactions when it comes to hospital and educational institutions has been increased from 1 lakh to rupees 5 lakh. GDP growth projection has increased to 7% from 6.5%. Very important that RBI is predicting that more GDP growth will be there. Along with that, GDP growth in December at 6.5 and March quarter at 6%. बट ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये याद रखना कि 7% तो होगा ही. ओके, रेपो रेट 6.5% है, तो जस्ट रिमेंबर वन टू थिंग्स. ओके, देयर इज MSF, that is the loans given without any collateral, so it is 25 basis point above than repo rate. 25 basis point above होता है, meaning it is 6.75%. and when it comes to रिवर्स रेपो रेट या फिर उसको हम लोग अब बोलते हैं SDF is 25 basis point less. अब ये लेस क्यों है? क्योंकि RBI is sucking money from the market ना, तो 6.25% यहाँ पे होगा. जस्ट रिमेंबर 6.25, 6.75 और 6.5%. ओके, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी विंडो भी कहते हैं इसको, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी विंडो. ये तीन रेट एटलीस्ट यू शुड रिमेंबर, ये तीन रेट एटलीस्ट यू शुड रिमेंबर कि MSF कितना है 6.75, SDF कितना है 6.25, RR कितना, रेपो रेट कितना है 6.5%. प्रोजेक्टेड एस्टिमेटेड ग्रोथ फॉर द नेक्स्ट, फॉर द करंट फिस्कल ईयर इज 7%, राइट. Inflation 5.4%. Okay, inflation is 5.4%, CRR is 4.5%, and SLR is 18%. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these 7 data और figures you should remember. इन सातों को याद रखना है. क्या क्या? रेपो रेट, रिवर्स रेपो रेट, MSF, and along with that SDF, along with that CRR, along with that SLR and inflation projection. इन सातों को याद रखना. हाई चांस कि क्वेश्चंस इनमें से आ सकते हैं, राइट, आ सकते हैं. नाउ रूपी exhibits low volatility, मतलब कि rupees is stable now. Cool, good for us that rupees is stable even when the world is facing crisis. Forex reserve, the eighth point that I want all of you to remember, stood at $604 billion on December 1, and RBI remains confident of meeting external financial requirements, comfortably proposed to hike e-mandate from recurring payment to rupees 1 lakh from 15,000. ठीक है. और एक और चीज है कि ई मैंडेट फॉर रेकरिंग पेमेंट, मतलब बेसिकली रेकरिंग पेमेंट के लिए जो हाइक है वो 1 लाख से 15,000 से 1 लाख रुपीस हो चुका है. क्लाउड फैसिलिटी डेवलप करने का प्लान हुआ है फॉर द फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर टू इनहेंस द डाटा सिक्योरिटी. देयर इज अ क्लाउड फैसिलिटी व्हिच इज बीइंग थॉट बाय RBI टू मेड, and next monetary policy committee will meet on 6 to 8 February 2024. till then जो भी एग्जाम्स हैं या फिर जो भी पॉइंट्स है, यू नीड टू रिमेंबर फ्रॉम द दिसंबर पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट. दिसंबर के पर्सपेक्टिव से इन सारे चीजों को यू हैव टू कीप अ नोट ऑफ इट. ओके, सो आई थिंक आई हैव मेड माई सेल्फ क्लियर दैट व्हाट इज हॉकिश मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी. यू कैन रिमेंबर इट जस्ट बाय रिमेंबरिंग अ वर्ड हाई. What is dovish monetary policy? What is accommodative monetary policy? What is neutral monetary policy? And how hawkish, dovish, and accommodative monetary policy impacts the economy? And along with that, what is repo rate? What is reverse repo rate? What is MSF? What is SDF? उसके बाद भी if you want to know about CRR, SLR, its relation with economy, open market operation, all the things are there in that video, the link of which will be shared in the description. You can go and watch that too. So this was all in the session from my side. Thank you very much for being in the session. I hope I have made myself clear and I have let you understand each and everything very diligently. Do not forget to share the session as much as you can. Do not forget to like the session, and along with that, comment anything that you wanted to know from this very session. Till then, thank you very much for being in the session. I'll be coming out with more such sessions in the near future. तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, टेक केयर एंड जय हिंद.